Hello, good evening, good morning, everyone. I have a VR that I want to try out. Um, I titled it the 72-hour tarot challenge, and I went more in the description about what this tarot challenge is about. But I this popped into my head, especially during Samhain this past weekend, and working with one particular deck. Um, I know there's a lot of tarot collectors that are out there, and I think that's wonderful. For those who collect just for the sake of collecting, and those who like to collect for the sake of collecting, but also to learn and understand the different personalities that all these decks that are out there have, and how they can influence people and also yourself in many different ways. So, the 72-hour tarot challenge came about with a deck that I just got, and it's something that I really was surprised to find when I was flipping through the deck very quickly. I haven't spent 72 hours just yet with this. I will do a separate video focusing on this particular deck. But what I want to ask is for those who are interested, this tarot challenge is within this time frame of 72 hours. Either it's a brand new deck that you may have gotten, or it could be an older deck in your collection, but just one. I want to focus on just that one deck that just makes you go, you know what? It's been a while since I've worked with that deck, and I think I should um, explore it. Make sure it's calling you, you know. And I know people are like, "Oh, I have so many decks. I don't know which one to choose for this one." Just have it, just have it call out to you naturally. If you feel it's strong, take the deck from the shelf or take it out of the box and just start looking at it. And if there's something that just goes, you know what? I think this is the right time to do this. Then give yourself that time and spend a few hours each day of the 72 hours to look at the deck, look at the imagery, feel emotionally, intuitively how you connect to the deck. Again, visually, how the images look. Um, and also spiritually, what's going on in 72 hours from the time that you open that deck and you really start looking at it. It's not a deck review. This is what's different. Um, deck reviews or walkthroughs are just that. You just got the deck or it hasn't been opened and you're just showing the cards. This is now the opportunity to actually uh, give yourself that time to look at the deck and see how you feel with it. And if there's any challenges that you may get from that deck that you feel like certain cards, um, explain the cards that are challenging and how you could possibly approach um, working through that. Now, I know there are people that have favorite cards from the arcana of the majors, or even the minor arcana. But we all have those challenges, and I bet a lot of people are going to have those cards with the swords that are just going to stand out. But this is the whole point in the 72 hours. Give yourself that challenge. It's like you're locked in the room with this one deck. Okay, there's no other decks around. You lock yourself with your mind and your heart and your spirit with this one particular deck, and that becomes your tarot friend, uh, new friend, I guess, to just learn more and understand instead of taking it for face value. So I feel 72 hours is actually a good enough time if you spend a few hours each day within those 3 days consecutively. Okay. Um, you will start ingesting elements of that deck. And that's what I've noticed when I get new decks. Um, I start feeling it. You start seeing aspects of it when you go out during the day, in your dream realm. One of the things I could also suggest is work with a card that you really, really like and a card that's really, really challenging and focus on those two. Don't spend too much time, but that's part of the exercise. Look at the ins and outs of the deck that you've chosen. So it's one deck that just like it's I need to know more about you. Again, it could be a brand new deck, or a deck that you haven't worked with it in a while, and maybe it's just time to come out from the shelf, take it out of the box, and just start playing with it. Okay, so this is a challenge because a lot of people don't have that patience to go through a deck, and this isn't like knowing everything about your deck in 72 hours. For a lot of people, this takes weeks, months, years. The Tarot of the Holy Light, I'm almost done studying for about 14 months with Julianne Victoria, and that has really deepened my understanding of the tarot overall. So I highly recommend that deck. But I'm keeping the deck that I'm uh, going to be doing my 72-hour video with under wraps, and I will share with you um, my feelings, how spiritually, how I feel it's opened some things for me. So so that's what I have for you. If you have any questions about this, if you feel like you're unclear about it, just write down the comments and I'll reply back. Um, I want to keep it within that time frame because I like for people to have some structure when it comes to working with a deck. And again, try not to have any distractions. If when you're at your place that you're working with your decks, make sure you're clear of any distractions and just have that deck right there with you. Maybe carry it with you if you have to leave for work. So yeah, this is like getting to know your deck, but in that time frame of 3 days, look, feel, smell, how if it makes you feel warm, if it makes you feel cold, give the best description that you can, the best experience that you've had working with that deck in that time frame. And what you could recommend for people if they have that deck or they would like to work with that deck, what you could recommend to best understand with your experience in that time frame, um, the best approach that you can share with people to get to know that deck a little bit more. So that's it. That's the 72-hour tarot challenge. This is open-ended um, till till people don't do any VRs of this. So it's not like you have like the end of November, but I look forward to hearing what you have to say. I think this would be a very interesting another way to get to know your tarot deck that you haven't had a moment to explore, or again, a deck that's older and maybe it's time to get to know it again, to rekindle it. So that's it. Have fun with this. 72 hours. If you have to go over, that's fine. But again, this is a way just to give yourself a personal challenge to work within a time frame to get to know a deck. Okay. That's it. Any questions, let me know, and I look forward to uh, seeing and hearing the experiences of the deck that you're working with. Have a good one. I'll see you later.